Before we begin, subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and allow this message to transform the way you think about money and prosperity. Thomas Troward said that the greatest miracles happen when conscious thought falls asleep. During sleep, the subconscious becomes the guardian of creation. It accepts, without resistance, everything that has been impressed by the waking mind. It is in this silent state that invisible laws work in your favor. Troward explained that the mind never sleeps completely. While the body rests, the inner intelligence remains active, shaping events, adjusting paths, and attracting opportunities. What you think before sleeping becomes the seed that germinates during the night. That is why he called this moment the sacred hour of command. It is the instant when the universe receives your purest instructions and fulfills them with divine precision. Thomas Troward affirmed that the night is the portal where the human mind touches the universal mind. During sleep, distractions cease, fear falls silent, and the subconscious takes absolute control. In this state, every idea accepted by the conscious mind transforms into law, beginning to work silently on the invisible plane. This is why many wake up with solutions, inspirations, or opportunities that seem like coincidences, but they are responses from the creative mind itself. He explained that thought before sleep is like the last note of a melody, and this note echoes throughout the night, repeating in the invisible field until it takes form. If the last thought is of fear, the mind creates blockages, but if it is of gratitude, faith, and prosperity, the universe responds with abundance. Troward called this process the nocturnal planting of the mind, a practice that transforms sleep into a powerful spiritual workshop where the invisible works while you rest. Thomas Troward said that the way you fall asleep determines what the universe prepares for your dawn. He explained that the subconscious is like a faithful servant. It obeys without question everything the conscious mind delivers to it before sleep. That is why the minutes preceding sleep are considered a silent altar, where you offer instructions to the creative power. And these instructions, whether of fear or faith, become realities the next morning. Troward recommended that before closing your eyes, the individual remain in a state of absolute serenity. No worries or painful memories, only the vibration of gratitude and the certainty that everything is being resolved in your favor. He said, "The last emotion of the day is the seed of the next day." Thus, by cultivating thoughts of wealth, joy, and confidence, the mind falls asleep in harmony with the creative field. And in this state, money and opportunities begin to flow effortlessly because the invisible work has already begun. Thomas Troward taught that the mind speaks a language the universe understands, feeling. During the day, the noise of the world covers this voice, but at night in silence it becomes audible to the infinite. It is at this moment that thought clothed in emotion transforms into creative decree. What you feel intensely before sleeping is what the universal mind assumes as truth. He said, "It is not the request that creates, it is the conviction." Therefore, Troward taught not to ask for wealth, but to feel it. Not to beg for prosperity, but to rest in the certainty that it is already yours by divine right. The subconscious mind, upon receiving this sensation, begins to organize the invisible means that will manifest this state in the physical world. It is a silent, perfect, and inevitable process. While you sleep, the universe moves to confirm that in which your soul rested with faith. Thomas Troward affirmed that the universe never sleeps, it only waits for the right command. When the body rests, invisible intelligence begins to align people, circumstances, and opportunities according to the mental pattern emitted before sleep. Nothing is random. Each chance of the following day is a direct response from the creative field to nocturnal thought. That is why he said that sleeping with faith is the same as sending a signed request to the divine mind. He explained that the subconscious is the intermediary between man and spirit. When falling asleep, the conscious relaxes and the subconscious opens completely, becoming receptive to new impressions. In this state, the law of mind acts without resistance. What was accepted as true before sleep is transmitted to the universal mind, which begins to act immediately. Thus, those who fall asleep in peace wake up in prosperity, because the law fulfilled the vibration it was given. Thomas Troward said that sleep is the laboratory of the soul. While many see it only as physical rest, He considered it the most fertile period of mental creation. During sleep, the mind reconnects to the source and receives direct instructions from divine intelligence. That is why falling asleep in harmony is more powerful than praying in desperation. He recommended a simple ritual. Before lying down, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and affirm in silence, "Divine prosperity surrounds me and works for me while I sleep." This phrase, repeated with calmness and conviction, serves as a vibrational password. The subconscious accepts it as law, and the universe begins to act in silence. Upon waking, you notice small changes: tranquility, new ideas, synchronicities. These are signs that the spiritual mind worked during the night, shaping the invisible in your direction. Thomas Troward affirmed that prosperity does not respond to desperation, but to serenity. Money is a vibration, and it approaches only minds that vibrate harmony. During the silence of the night, when the voices of fear cease, the soul becomes receptive to the frequency of divine flow. It is in this state that the energy of money recognizes a safe field to approach. Troward said, "The universal mind does not understand noise but the rhythm of calm. When the mind rests, it naturally aligns with abundance, because inner harmony is the vibrational password of wealth. That is why silent thought before sleep is more effective than any daytime effort. It communicates to the universe that the work is done, that faith has been sealed, and the result is inevitable. Money flows to where there is peace, never to where there is fear." Thomas Troward explained that the subconscious is like fertile soil that accepts any seed, good or bad. And what you think before sleeping is exactly what you plant in this invisible soil. That is why he taught that the secret is not to try to change life during the day, but at night, when the mind is open and receptive. By falling asleep with thoughts of prosperity, you are silently rewriting the programs that create your reality. He said, "The subconscious does not argue, it only obeys. Thus, if the last emotion of the day is fear, it will produce more reasons to fear. But if it is faith, gratitude, and certainty, it will reproduce these same frequencies in the form of blessings." Troward called this nocturnal impression, the moment when the human spirit engraves its new identity in the universe. When this practice becomes a habit, the subconscious begins to work automatically in favor of abundance, making prosperity as natural as breathing. Thomas Troward said that the individual mind is only a spark within the universal mind. During sleep, this spark returns to the source, and in this return it replenishes itself with creative power. That is why the hours of rest are also hours of spiritual alignment. When the mind sleeps in harmony, it reconnects to the flow of infinite abundance, receiving new ideas, solutions, and inspirations that the conscious alone could never conceive. He explained that the universal field is neutral. It only reflects the pattern offered to it. Therefore, sleeping in a state of gratitude is the same as launching a luminous signal to the universe saying, "I am ready to receive." And the universe, as a faithful mirror, responds with opportunities, encounters, and perfect synchronicities. Thus, each night becomes a silent portal where the soul converses directly with the source of prosperity. Thomas Troward taught that a single idea repeated with faith before sleep has the power to reprogram the entire destiny. He believed that simplicity is the true secret of the creative mind. Therefore, he recommended that each person choose a short, clear, and positive phrase to repeat softly until falling asleep. This phrase should express the state of possession and not of lack, because the mental law only multiplies what is already recognized as real. He suggested affirmations such as, "Divine wealth flows freely in my life," "Money loves me and comes to me with ease and joy," or even, "While I sleep, prosperity works silently in my favor." These words, spoken calmly, penetrate the subconscious and continue vibrating throughout the night. And when dawn arrives, the universe has already organized the paths. Because, as Troward said, what the heart accepts in silence, life hurries to manifest. Thomas Troward affirmed that the universe never leaves a seed without response. Every idea impregnated with true feeling becomes alive, and during sleep, this invisible life begins to act. He explained that the subconscious is like a silent gardener. It tends to the seeds that the conscious plants and, in due time, brings the fruits to the surface. That is why each night is a sacred opportunity to plant new causes to harvest new effects. He said, The mind that rests in faith is working more than the one that struggles in fear. While many wear themselves out trying to force results, those who have learned to trust see things move naturally. Businesses flow, the right people appear, doors open, all without visible effort, because creation has already happened in the invisible field during the night. And when the sun rises, what was only thought begins to clothe itself in matter. Thomas Troward taught that dawn is the mirror of what your mind created during the night. He said that the first thought upon waking reveals the vibrational state that dominated sleep. If there is peace, confidence, and joy, it is a sign that the subconscious worked correctly, preparing the ground for a day of opportunities. But if there is anguish and fear, it is only a reminder that the mind needs to be realigned with faith. He recommended that upon waking, the person not rush to the external world. Before any action, they should remain in silence for a few moments, mentally thanking, "Thank you because good is already in movement in my life." This simple gesture consolidates the nocturnal creation and keeps the channel open. Thus, the day becomes a natural continuation of the invisible work of the night, and prosperity begins to manifest in subtle details, coincidences, intuitions, encounters, and fluidity. Thomas Troward said that money is only the material shadow of an inner state. It does not arrive by luck, effort, or chance. It responds to the dominant vibration of the mind. Therefore, when nocturnal thought aligns with abundance, money becomes inevitable. It appears in unexpected ways, flows naturally, and remains because the consciousness that attracted it is stable and confident. Troward explained that the mind is a constant transmitter of frequency. During sleep, it emits subtle signals that the universe captures and returns in the form of circumstances. The secret is to maintain the vibration of good even after waking, so that the flow is not interrupted by doubts or fear. He said, "What you hold in thought with love, the universe multiplies in matter." Thus, prosperity ceases to be a search and becomes a natural consequence of your inner state. Thomas Troward taught that the purpose of silent thought is to open space for spirit to act. While man tries to solve everything with effort, spirit creates with harmony and precision. During sleep, this exchange happens naturally. The personal self steps aside, and the divine self, the creative consciousness, takes command. It is in this state that true magic occurs, without tension, without struggle, without haste. He said, "God's perfect work begins when man falls silent." Sleeping in peace is therefore the highest act of faith. It is trusting that infinite intelligence is operating behind the curtains, orchestrating every detail with wisdom superior to your understanding. Upon waking, you realize that doors have opened, ideas have arrived, people have appeared, not because you forced it, but because the universal mind worked in your place. Thomas Troward said that prosperity is not something you conquer, but something that awakens within you. Every night is an invitation to this silent awakening, the moment when the soul remembers its creative power. Sleeping with faith is a form of prayer. Waking in peace is the answer to that prayer. When thought becomes a friend of silence, money, ideas, and opportunities flow naturally, because the mind already vibrates in tune with the spirit that provides all. Troward summarized it thus: "Inner harmony is the greatest wealth a man can possess, and from this harmony is born everything the world calls success. Therefore, before sleeping, repeat calmly, 'While I sleep, good works for me.' Everything that is mine by divine right approaches with love and ease." This simple practice is the key to infinite flow and the secret that the ancient masters kept in silence. If this message touched your soul, like this video, subscribe to the channel and share with someone who needs to awaken to abundance. Remember, power is not in effort, but in conscious rest. While you sleep, the entire universe conspires in your favor.